Alright, a lot of extra stuff laying around. Let's clean up the board. Put the right parts aside. This is not necessary anymore, this stuff. Alright, time to put the wing on. The instructions say to put the wing about 1.25 inches back from the nose. You know, actually it says to put the propeller on first. Whatever. I forgot to mention. Oh, no, I didn't. Maybe I did say it came with a propeller. Here's the propeller. They tell you to balance it in the instructions. So that's the heavier blade. So if you have a heavy blade, you could scrape some plastic off of it. Propeller goes on like this. Hard to push it on. Be careful you don't break the stick when you're grabbing it to push it on. Okay, so this part here is going to be glued to the top of the fuselage. And it says it's supposed to be at about 1.25 inches back. Now this razor blade is 1.5 inches. I just measured it. So you put the razor blade on there and mark it with something. I found a marker here. Put the razor blade on there and go about 1/4 inch up from the back edge of the razor blade, and that's about 1.25 inches from the front. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to glue this on here with wood glue because that'll take too long to dry. I'm going to glue it on with crazy glue. I'm going to put the mark on the other side also. Okay. So, what I'll do first is I'll tack it. I'll put a little bit of crazy glue on the front. And I'm not going to put crazy glue on these parts, so I'm going to put it, about 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch back from the front. Put a dab of it on there. The instructions say to pin it, but with crazy glue you don't have to do as much pinning. There's a dab, and there's a bit of baking soda, and that didn't work. Let's try again. I think I needed more glue. Okay. You got a baking soda. More baking soda. That worked. And it didn't interfere with the other parts. And I'm going to do it. I could just glue the whole thing down now, but I'm going to tack it on the back also. You can see there's a gap there. So I'm going to tack it right where it's coming in contact. I'm inventing this as I go. Alright, now it's tacked on the front and the back. And now I have a little problem. That these little parts here are kind of won't let the wing go down, so I've got to pull them out. I might have to shorten them. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. Alright. Alright. They kind of locked. Now here's the point. Oh, that's that's kind of locked too. Okay, good. So now what we have here is we can have a flat wing, or we can have a wing with dihedral angle, and they tell you to put dihedral angle in there. But some people might want to experiment and put a flat wing on there and see how that works. Or you might want to put only a small amount of dihedral on there, less than they ask for. Or you might want to put a large amount and see how that works. On this model, I'm going to put the standard amount. And if you look in the friendly manual, you can see how they suggest that you do it. Step 15, basically you use the propeller and the tip of the rudder, tip of the horizontal vertical stabilizer, and you go upside down. There we go, this won't go flat again. Okay, great. And make sure the and rest it on the propeller and rest it on the vertical stabilizer. Make sure it's straight up and down. And then you can solidify the angles. And the way we did that before was with the crazy glue. I'm satisfied with that. I'm going to put some crazy glue here. Super glue, rather. Ah. That worked out well. More baking soda. Alright, that has solidified the dihedral angle in place. Now I'm going to check it by looking at it down the line. Oh wow, that came out really well. If you look straight down the front and see how the rudder, the vertical stabilizer, splits the difference between that, and so it came out really nice and straight. Okay, now only the leading edge has the desired dihedral angle. It's only the leading edge is solidified now. We still have to glue the tailing edge, make that nice and solid, and that's going to be easy also with our excellent fast building technologies, i.e. crazy glue and baking soda. There is stuff you can buy on the market called CA Glue Accelerator. It comes in a spray bottle, and all you have to do is spray it, and it gets things a little wet, but it really initiates and solidifies the curing of the CA glue. And now, so the baking soda method isn't very standard, but it's cheap and available. We have a lot of it, and it's working. It's working really well for me now. Now, I haven't glued the middle thing down to the middle of the fuselage. I think the instructions say to glue this thing along the whole length. I don't think that's necessary because most of the strength is here and here. But what I will do now is, instead of running a bead along the whole length, I'll put a bead in the middle again, holding it down, and put another bead, not bead, but dollop of glue there in the middle, and a little bit of baking soda to help cure it instantaneously. Ah, look at that. My finger stuck to it. That's what happens sometimes if your finger's at the back of an object that you put glue on. It came off nicely though. Alright, I think we've done that. This is very satisfying. Next step, glue the horizontal stabilizer. Make sure it's 90-degree angle to the fin. Now this is a attention to detail item. We want to look down the lines and make sure that things are all symmetrical. It helps to be, what's the word, obsessive compulsive, to get things lined up nicely. So in that case, in this case, obsessive OCD is useful. All right, putting this on. Trying to figure out if the paper is supposed to go up or the it's supposed to be like this or like this. I don't think it matters, but it doesn't say. I don't think it matters. So what I'll do is again, I'll do something. Where, oh, hey, look at this. I happen to have an object here that's a 90-degree angle. I could do this. Okay, there's 90 degrees. And before I move it, put the dollop of crazy glue in there. And I think I might have moved it, so I'm going to check it again. Although I might end up gluing the corner of my 90-degree item in there, but it didn't. And the crazy baking soda on there. Did it take? You know what I did? I glued it to the board, the cardboard. So I'm gonna cut that up. Ha ha ha! I did it. Glued it to the cardboard. Or there's still some liquid glue there. Okay. This is where the wax paper comes in handy. Now, it's a good idea to try to keep the tail light. If you can avoid putting gobs and gobs of glue on the tail, that's that much ballast you don't need to put in the front. You know, every gram of excess tail weight is like 3 grams of ballast you need to put in the front, because it has a longer moment arm, because the center of gravity is right about here, should be right about there, and so you don't have as much of a moment arm there to counteract whatever extra weight you put back here. Alright, now it's only tacked at the back. I'm going to take the moment to look at it from front to back and see if it's even. Even though I did use the angle device. It is a little bit, this side's a little bit up, so I'm going to maybe bend it a little bit. It's not that important. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, now I'm going to put do the front. Sprinkling that on there. Alright, so it's tacked on the front and the back. Now that it's tacked on the front and the back, actually you might want to glue this to the bottom surface. I don't think that's going to matter there. Glue the paper to the body, but I don't think that matters. So just for a little extra strength, I'm going to soak some more CA in there. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. Oh, I forgot one thing. The plans call for putting a pin in the back to hold the rubber band, and I don't have any pins. I don't think we're going to have any pins, so we can improvise with some of this stuff. Here we go. Watch this. I think this might do the trick. Just put a little glue there. Now, that's not going to be even. It might pull on one side of the fuselage and warp it, in which case I'll put something on the other side too. Okay, I have a little bit of baking soda on there that isn't, it's still loose. And I'm going to put some CA glue on there to soak that up. Probably putting a lot of weight in the back here, but I'm trying to be expeditious. Alright, there, that's that. I'm going to put one on the other side too. This is a situation where I could end up dropping a lot of glue on my finger. I've done that before. When CA glue cures, it is exothermic, puts out some heat, and I had a lot of it curing right on my finger, and I couldn't pull my finger away because it was glued to the source that was creating the heat, and that was the only time I ever got a serious, injury from the CA glue. I was using lots and lots of it, and it burned my finger. It's like putting your finger on a stove and then not being able to remove it on a hot stove, and then not being able to remove it immediately. That was no fun. And that time I did get a blister. But for small amounts of CA glue, that doesn't happen. Like right now, you'll see that I have my finger actually is glued to the surface, and it's underneath there, and I was dolloping a lot there, and if it had leaked onto my finger, it could have been a problem. There's some uncured CA. I'm going to put some baking soda. It's a little bit of a mess, but I think that works out. I hope that holds the rubber band well enough. But I think this is done. Well, the rubber band has to go on. Alright, I'll put the rubber band on. Square knot. I don't know what to tell you to use. I'm going to use a square knot. Get rid of that droop. I'm going to wind it a bit. Well, at least we know the rubber band is long enough. You know what I think I'll do? I'll do something to hold that rubber band in place. Maybe glue it or something. Having trouble with the rubber band on the tail, on the back. I think the rubber band's too long, so I need to shorten it up by twisting it. There we go. Alright, so I think this is ready to go.